Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 627 today. We're going to be talking about closing a website and doing it in inverted commas, double quotes, the right way. What happens when it's time to shut the doors? Not just on your business, but on your website too. Maybe you're retiring, maybe the business has been wound up, maybe you've sold it and you've been told you don't need that website anymore. Either way, you've still got a website sitting there on the internet quietly ticking away until your hosting runs out. Let's talk about what closing a website properly actually means and what you should be doing before pulling the plug and how to make sure you don't lose anything important or leave a mess behind. Firstly, deleting your website doesn't mean everything disappears instantly. Well, not if you don't do it properly. Your domain name, that's your web address, askcharlyleetham.com, that's my domain name, might be still active for months. It might not expire for months, if not years, if I've renewed it for years. So if you just delete your website, anyone who visits your web address will get an ugly error message. Now, maybe that's okay. Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you want to be a little bit more professional about it. So a better approach, in my opinion, is to put up a simple goodbye page, something that says, hey, thanks for visiting. We're now closed, or hey, I've gone off to retire and enjoy my golden years, or whatever it is. Make sure you're thanking people. Make sure you thank people who have been your customers for years, all the rest of it. Do that nice handover thing. It looks tidy. It shows people you've wrapped up intentionally and you've not just gone missing. If you're still using your domain name for email, i.e. support@askcharlyleetham.com, you'll need to make a decision there too. Shutting down the hosting can break your email unless you move it to another provider. So a lot of people still use server-based hosting. They log into the web server to get their email down, or the mail server part of the hosting package to get their mail down. If you've moved your mail off to Microsoft 365, M365, or Google or Zoho or one of those, this is an issue. It will still be there. As long as your domain remains active, that will still be there. But if you haven't done that and it's still on your server, you need to consider that, because you will lose your email address when the hosting package expires, when you close down your hosting package. Now, before you pull the plug, before you shut everything down, before you cancel your hosting and say, I don't need this anymore, I highly recommend that you make a full backup of your website. Why? Just in case you decide that retirement isn't for you, or you want to start up again, then you've got something you can go back to. The way you would do that is you download all of the files. I wouldn't necessarily take a backup of the whole hosting account. I would take a backup of the content of the site. So you might need help to do it, but download all of the files, the images, the text, whatever is on there, the physical files that are on your web hosting. Export your database, keep a copy of your database. I'd then put it on a USB data stick, put a label on it, and stick it in a drawer and say it's there. If you don't want it after a few more years, you can delete it, you can get rid of it, but you've got it just in case you change your mind. And it gives you something to go back with, start with. If you just do go back, you don't have to start from scratch. You need to make a decision as to whether you want to keep your domain name active or not. If you're truly done and you don't need the email addresses and you don't want the website, you can just let it expire. It may not expire immediately. Like, it doesn't expire immediately. You have a length of time on your domain name. Once that is gone, once that time is gone, the domain name will expire. Other people will be able to register it, all of those things that go with it. But until then, it's going to be up there. It's going to be active. It's going to be pointing to things. You kind of need to think about what you want to do with it at that point. Also remember that once you let it expire, anyone can buy it. So if it's your name or your brand and it has any value to you, you might want to consider renewing it for one more year, just to be safe, or for a couple more years, just to have it sitting there. Look, it's 20 something bucks a year. It's not expensive. And just that peace of mind, you might want to just keep it there. If you'd like to keep your customer email but not the full website, you can keep the domain name and move the email to services like Google Workspace and Outlook, as I explained, Microsoft 365. But you do need to do that. You'll need to keep your domain name active, and you'll need to have a service for your email. Okay, so you've decided what you want to do with your domain name. You've decided that you're going to put up a thank you page for a little bit. The next thing you want to consider is how and when to close down the hosting account. So remember, the hosting account is the physical server or the physical piece of hardware out in the internet where all of your files are served, so that when people put in your domain name, it goes, that's me, here's the website, come and have a look at it. That's your hosting. You pay for that monthly or annually. You need to make a decision as to when you want to close that down. If you're not sure when it expires, you do need to know when your expiration date is. Are you doing monthly billing? If you're doing monthly billing, you may need to log in and tell them that you're not going to renew it. Make sure if you're on monthly billing that you're not on monthly billing with an annual commitment. That happens occasionally. So you might think, well, I'm on monthly billing, I can just cancel it and I don't have to worry about it. And then they come back and say, well, no, you've got 6 months left on your account. If you cancel it now, you owe us X amount of money. So just be sure you understand what the terms and conditions of your hosting were. If you are on annual billing, then just wait till the end of the period and it will cancel. It will stop displaying. And tell them you don't want to renew, and they won't renew it, but it will sit there till the end of the renewal period. I guess the last thing I should say on the hosting is make sure you've got nothing else hosted on it. So you might be closing, let's say you're not retiring, but you're just closing down one part of your business, or one business that you run, and you've got 3 or 4 other businesses you're running, and they've all got websites and they're all on the same server. If that's the case, don't cancel your hosting, because you will lose those websites as well. Just download, delete your existing website, back it up and take it down, and you'll be sweet. But you do need to decide what you want to do with your hosting. You need to understand what you're using that hosting for, what the billing period is, what your billing terms and conditions are. And then you can also send them a note and say, I'm going to cancel this just before it's due to expire anyway. Okay? Just also remember that once the hosting account is gone, it's gone. They don't keep backups for you. They don't keep data for you. So, which is why I recommended you do your backup to start with. Let's quickly talk about the privacy. Well, not even quickly talk about the privacy side of it. Let's talk about the privacy side of it. If your website had contact forms or client data, make sure all of that information is deleted safely. Don't just take the site offline. Actually remove the databases or files so personal details aren't sitting on a server you no longer use. So what I'm saying there is, once you've downloaded your database, exported and downloaded your databases, go into your hosting and delete the database from there. If you've used the same email for logins elsewhere, i.e. bank accounts, subscriptions, update those first before your email address disappears. Also, make sure that you are turning off any associated services that you have with your website. So if you're using Mailchimp, for example, if you're using an email marketing program and you've been paying for that, you'll want to cancel that. You don't want to have those expenses sitting there if you're not going to use them anymore. So just think about all of the things that are associated with your website and make sure that you've cancelled those. Make sure you've deleted customer databases. For example, if you're on Mailchimp and you're not going to use that anymore for your account, go in, download your subscriber list. Notice I'm saying back everything up. Just download your subscriber list, throw them onto that data stick with your website. Forget about it if you need to, delete it in a couple of years, and then close the account. But make sure you clear your subscriber list when you close your account so that data isn't sitting there as well. Finally, and this is a big one for me, make sure you say goodbye gracefully. It might sound small, but putting up a short farewell message makes a huge difference. It shows pride in what you've built and respect for the people who have supported you. Something as simple as, after 20 wonderful years, I've retired and closed the business. Thank you all for your support, will go a huge way. Now, maybe that's not important to you, but I think it's nice. I think it's a nice thing to do. I think it keeps us human. And it helps your customers close the loop, and even Google. It tells the world you're finished strong, and that not just that your site and your business fell apart. Your website isn't just about pressing delete. Closing a website isn't just about pressing delete. It's about wrapping up neatly. Back up your files, decide what happens to your domain and email, shut down your hosting properly, shut down any ancillary, I think that's the word, services properly, and leave a small thank you note behind. It's a digital equivalent of locking the front door, turning off the lights, and leaving a friendly sign in the window that says, "Thanks for everything, we're closed," or, in the words of an inevitable author, "So long and thanks for all the fish." I think that's how you close a website correctly, properly, and with class. What do you guys think? I would love your feedback. Have you had to close websites? Have you had to delete things and start over? Have you said, "That's it, I'm done," and then gone back 6 months later and go, "Oh, I really wish I'd saved all that because I want to start up again"? I'd love to know. I'd love to know your feedback. Love to know where you're at with all of this. Have I asked more questions than I've answered here? Have I said something you disagree with? Come across to my community, askcharlyleetham.locals.com. Join the conversation there. You can always leave comments on these videos wherever you're watching or listening to them. I will respond to them eventually. Give me time. I'm a busy woman, but I'll get to them eventually. The community is the bit that I monitor. If this has been helpful to you, maybe share this with someone else, or preferably both. Give it a like. That will help the algorithm. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content. And I'll see you the day after tomorrow with more business inspiration, or more tech business inspiration. See you all tomorrow, guys. No, the day after tomorrow. Bye. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.